So not knowing how to do something is not a valid excuse for not learning. In fact, it would be a good reason to begin to learn, right? You don't know how. Therefore, like if you already know how, I guess you don't need to know how, you don't need to learn that particular thing. But if you don't know how, and it's something that might be helpful to you, then you better start learning now. Why are you going to postpone it? You going to wait? How much longer? You're going to wait another, what, a week? You're going to start a week from now? A month? A year? 10 years? You really want to endure suffering for 10 more years? Well, it seems absurd when I speak of it that way, but isn't that what you're doing to yourself? If you say, I can't, I don't know how, you're just saying you're going to wait indefinitely. You might say, well, maybe I understand the potential value of it, but I just don't know where to begin. I don't know how. So you're just saying, I'll wait indefinitely. So in other words, you're going to suffer. You're going to continue to suffer indefinitely. Now, if you really understood just how horrific it is, you wouldn't do that to yourself. So can we try together for a moment to really understand how absolutely horrific this is? Okay, think about this. When you are in deep sleep, when you are experiencing deep sleep, isn't it delightful? I mean, it's perfect rest. You're not harming yourself. You're not worrying about anything. You're not telling yourself stories, nonsense stories about who should do what and who should think what and who should behave in such and such way and who should believe what things and how you should try and fool and deceive the world into seeing you in some false way. You don't do that in deep sleep. And it's such a relief. There's such rest. It's so delightful, isn't it? Can you understand that? That's why we need it, you see. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't last long. It's true. It's true. You need to have that or you wouldn't survive for very long. I don't know how long it, not that long. Day on the scale of days before you drop dead because you need it. Now think about that. Just a relatively short amount of deep sleep can allow you to continue to survive from the almost ceaseless torture that you do to yourself while you're awake. That's how powerful it is, how wonderful it is, how delightful it is. Can you understand the peace and happiness of deep sleep? I mean, the only problem is you don't seem to actually be there to enjoy it, but that's another story. Now, contrast that with what you do to yourself when you're awake. I mean, think about it. Think about some time in your life when you were stressing yourself about things in a particularly violent fashion. You know, when you were really, really, really stressed, when you would be stressed all the way up until the moment you fell asleep, and then you'd start stressing pretty much the moment you woke up. And think about how horrible that was, how you would have done almost anything to make it stop. Wouldn't you? You would have done almost anything. If somebody said, look, this is the this is the for sure solution. Just take this potion and it will solve the problem. You'd say, how much? Doesn't matter. I'll find a way. Even in that, deep sleep offered a respite. That self-torment couldn't enter into deep sleep. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to have the peace and happiness of deep sleep even now? Can you start to get a sense of how horrible what you do to yourself is? The self-torment. What will happen to me? What will happen if people find out? What will happen if I don't achieve such and such? What will happen if fill in the blank? Those people should not have done that. Those people shouldn't think that way about me. Those people should do this other thing instead. I have to get those people to do those things. It's just constant torment. Can you start to sense how nightmarish it is? And then you wonder, why can't I be happy? Why can't I achieve the things that I want to achieve? I'm telling you why. I mean, the the number, if you want to achieve something, the secret is in the law of attention. Whatever if you sustain your attention on the thing that you want long enough, you will achieve it. Pure and simple. But you are up to now, you've been unwilling to keep your attention on it for long enough because you give preference to self-torture.